Our final problem today, find three consecutive integers. So, as I mentioned earlier when I was going through the objectives for the day, we've done problems that say find three consecutive integers before. But after the such that, we were adding them up, and we were getting all these x or n's to the first power. All right. If we start off with the fact that three consecutive integers would be n plus 1, and n plus 2, because if you recall, consecutive integers go up one at a time, so we have a plus 1 pattern. So if the first integer is 17, one more than that's 18, one more than that's 19, so n plus 1, n plus 2. This says the product of the first and the third. Here's the first, here's the third. Product means to multiply them. So take the product of the first and the third. And notice that exact expression there, before I go any further, makes n squared plus 2n. I'm going to get a quadratic expression out of this consecutive integer word problem. Okay, so that's the difference in the problems from what we saw before to what we're seeing now, is that product means to multiply. Multiplying n's creates a squared, and that creates a different type of expression and equation. Is still equals. Greater than or less than statements are ignored till the end. 4 times the second is just 4 times n plus 1. Keep in mind n plus 1 is two objects being represented as 1. So to do 4 times the second, I have to put the second in parentheses. Don't forget type things like that when you're writing equations. And then the 4 greater than happens after the word is, so that means plus 4 gets over here to the right hand side. We fix it like so. So that's job 1. Get the equation written. Once you've got the equation written, now we're going to solve the equation using whatever techniques is necessary for the type of equation it is. So again, at this point in the problems from the past when we did consecutive integers, we had n to the first power all over the place, which is just a simple algebra equation, no issues. Get n isolated, divide, you get your answer, right? We are looking for integers, so we're looking for integer answers like 2 or -4 or -5 or 0, something like that. If you get a non-integer, it doesn't count, all right? N squared plus 2n equals 4n plus 4 plus 4. Since I have n to the second power, I've learned how to solve quadratic equations is get everything to one side equal to 0 first, right? So I'm going to move the 4n over to the left, and 4 and 4 make a total of 8. I'll move that over to the left. Both things I'm moving are positives, so they move those negatives. If I combine all my terms, I get n squared minus 2n minus 8 equals 0. Now we've learned several techniques for solving a quadratic equation. Technique 1 was factoring. Technique 2 was completing the square. Now if you want extra practice at completing the square, by all means go ahead and do that. But if you're doing consecutive integer word problems, this will be a factorable expression. And it's much easier to factor than it is to do anything else. N minus 4 times n plus 2 would be the factored form. If we want to verify the factoring, -4 times 2 makes the -8 constant. -4 plus 2 makes the -2 coefficient of n. If n minus 4 times n plus 2 equals 0, that means that either n minus 4 equals 0, making n equal to +4, or n plus 2 equals 0, making n equal to -2. Kind of a sad look at my answer, isn't it? That's better. Not much better, but better. All right. What's 4 minus 4?
0.
0. What's -2 plus 2?
0.
0. So again, if I'm multiplying 0 times something, I get 0. If you want to verify that actually works, 16 minus 8 is 0. -2 squared would be +4. Plus 4 is 8 minus 8 equals 0. Both of those work, right? They both make this true. All right, so what I want you to see, though, is n equals those two answers. A lot of times people are content that they circled out, they're done. But we're trying to find three consecutive integers. All we did was find the first. There's two different firsts here. So the first is 4, and we apply this pattern. We're going to go up by 1 and up by 2. There's one set of answers. The other answer is -2. If I add 1 and add 2, I get those answers. Both of those are correct. All right? Now, let me just throw one extra thing out at you because I know it's going to happen in the homework here, I think tonight. If it says consecutive odd or consecutive even, n plus 2, n plus 4, right? And this is still n plus 2, n plus 4? We recall that, right?
Yeah.
Right. Suppose they give you this problem here, and you go through all that work and you end up with n is equal to 3 and 6. suppose the problem was find 3 consecutive odd integers such that blah blah blah, that makes the equation, and you create your set of unknowns here, and you get your correct answers 3 and 6, which are both correct, but they ask for what?
The odd.
Odd. So 6 isn't odd, throw it out. 3, 5, 7 will be the only answer. Alright, so if that happens, that's how you deal with it. There's at least one set of answers for every one of these, but there's occasionally they'll ask for odds, you'll get both an odd and an even, or ask for even, you get both an odd and even. Throw out the one that isn't the type of thing you were looking for. Alright? And again, if you can't figure out how to factor it, try completing the square. Going back to this one, n squared minus 2n equals 8, right? Move the 8 over the other side. Half of 2 is 1, 1 squared is 1, so plus 1 plus 1. N minus 1 squared equals 9. N minus 1 equals plus or minus 3. N equals 1 plus or minus 3. Move the 1 over, it becomes positive. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. You get the same answers.
Wow.
Alright? So again, if you can't figure out the factoring, putting the square is legal, it'll work. Alright? You get the same answer. Use a technique that you like. Get good at both techniques. Alright, but again, if you have struggles getting the factored form, which again, they shouldn't be terribly hard, but if you can't figure it out right off the bat, completing the square is not too bad. And if you're getting integers, this will always be a perfect square. So square root of 9 is 3, make sure the plus or minus is there, make sure you get your 2 answers.